what is the impression that Pakistan gives off to like somebody who even, for example, hasn't heard all the bad news, right? Has heard nothing. Maybe knows about India. Uh, what's the vibe that people get when they come to Pakistan as a non-Pakistani person?
It kind of depends on where they go, right? Like
Sure.
the cities are
Yeah.
mad
Yeah.
different from the
Yeah.
mountains. And so a
Yeah.
lot of foreigners do just kind of show up and go straight to the mountains. So the people who go straight to the mountains are just like foaming at the mouth about snow-capped peaks and
Mm.
charming villages and peace and quiet. And they're like, it's beautiful. They just like can't stop spouting about how beautiful it is. And the people who come to like the southern cities, I mean, obviously there's like the busyness of everything and just like the amount of
Yeah.
sensory stimulation that goes on in the cities. But a lot of people are quite impressed by like the diversity of what's on offer, because you can have like all of the forts and the old like the shrines, the mosques, all of these like historical pieces of architecture. You have a bunch of different languages and cultures going on. You have people of all kinds of appearances walking around on the streets, and then all of that you can have, and then you can have mountains and like pristine nature on top of that. So people
Yeah.
are just like overwhelmed by what exists in the country. It's
Mm.
quite unique in that regard. I mean,
Yeah.
you want me to like spout positivity, or you want me to like
No,
touch
no.
on
If you
No, I mean-
do get too positive, I'll eventually go towards the negative myself.
stop, be more miserable like us. Like no, no. So like in general, like most people's impressions are quite good in
Okay.
general about the country. Like from a tourist perspective, it's fucking cool. You can have all kinds of stuff. It's like relatively affordable to travel around in at a certain
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of different kinds of experiences in a relatively small like area. And so people are just impressed by that. And then there's the hospitality also that like obvious foreigners get.
Mm.
Keyword
Is it?
obvious foreigners.
Yeah, I was. We'll come to the obvious foreigner bit too, but like, if you're a super obvious foreigner, is it like are Pakistani people like the average man on the street? Are they like chill, or are they like over the top excited and go out of their way, or is it like a mix?
Um, when I first came, it was definitely like over the top. Like when I first came, I had a boyfriend.
Mm.
He was like a tall, very white, like curly, light brown, blondish hair.
Yeah.
So like he got the instant like, "Ah, you're here, like red carpet, like fawning, like the
Right.
god has arrived kind of treatment.
Mm.
And so it was definitely intense. And then in more recent years, like in rural areas, still it's kind of like that. But in more recent years, like walking around, for example, like the walled city in Lahore, people are a bit more chill. Now they're like, hey, like, welcome, hello. But it's not like, hi, oh my God, let's give you chai and feed you,
Right.
lift
Right.
you right now. Like now they've calmed down a
Mm.
bit. In other places, it's still like that though. But it's not too intense. People stare a lot, I
Yeah.
suppose, but it's
Yeah.
not as intense as other places. It's mostly like friendly. It can be like weird sometimes if you don't know to expect it. Like the last time I was there, I was with two people from the US, two other people from the US, and one of them was like a tall, white, blue-eyed guy. And this guy on his motorbike with like all of his kids on the back of his bike just drives up next to him and is just like smiling at him. He doesn't say anything. He just like rolls up and is just standing and like grinning massively at him. Just like
Wow.
says nothing. And then eventually I think he asked for a photo or something and then just like drives.
Yeah.